Welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us for today's webinar. My name is Mariam Sanoti and I'll be your MC today. Let me introduce you about Events 10X. This is a virtual events platform that acts as a venue to host exhibitions, conferences, trade fairs, uni fairs, and many other types of virtual events. Events 10X provides the highest standards and quality, all while providing seamless features that connects the worlds and embraces innovation and provides unique services in the event sector. Here at Events 10X, you can seamlessly integrate hybrid and virtual events to connect people from all over the world. Now, let me introduce you to some of the features of Events 10X. It's a web-page platform that is power-packed with some cool features. Networking, multilingual interface, an exhibition area, multiple stages for parallel sessions, interpretation in multiple languages, and of course, access management. Now, before I start, let me introduce you to the topic for today's webinar. The future is hybrid. Event strategies you need in 2021 presented by The topic for today's webinar is The Future is Hybrid, Event Strategies You Need in 2021, presented by our three main speakers. Abhay Singh Chauhan is the Head of Business Growth Events at Events 10X, Ahmed Sayed, Business Consultant of Raya Services, and Taisha May Leong, General Manager in the International Property Show. Now, just a little housekeeping before we get started. If you have any questions during the presentation, please type them into the video wall on the right of the auditorium, which is visible to you right now. I'll bring them up during the Q&A, which is towards the end. Now, we will turn the time over to Abhay Singh, and he'll be starting the discussion with virtual and hybrid events in the Middle East and North Africa. Are you ready, Mr. Abhay?
Thanks, Mariam.
You're welcome. Go ahead.
To say that the last year has been a whirlwind would be an understatement. In a matter of days, live events and conferences that had been planned in months in advance were suddenly postponed or cancelled. Virtual events became the new normal, and we had to learn how to create effective programs on the go. The entire events industry navigated through the storm and learned a lot of lessons along the way. One of the most important lessons the events industry learned was that while virtual events certainly have their benefits, live events will always be an important part of any robust event program. Now it's time to think about a different type of event strategy, hybrid events. There will be situations, such as this global pandemic, where virtual events are the only option. There will also be situations where in-person events will be the most effective way of collecting leads and engaging your audience. Hybrid events, or events that combine both in-person and virtual experiences, will be an essential part of the new normal in the events industry and is definitely here to stay. Hybrid events are the perfect solution for those programs that can effectively be done on-site and virtually. Some examples of perfect hybrid event programs are trade shows, conferences, uni fairs or career fairs, webinars, trainings, awards, graduations, global town halls. All of these which can be done and hosted on Events 10X with its inbuilt features. Hybrid events are also extremely useful solutions when many of your attendees who would normally attend in person are not able to. Some of these situations which would entail such a hybrid attendance would be when attendees cannot or would not want to travel due to current health or safety concerns, or even if the attendee's organization has limited travel spend and therefore cannot travel to the event due to the current market situation and budgets. The venue where you would also be hosting the on-site portion of the event has capacity limitations, so not all attendees would be allowed to gather on-site. Types of hybrid events would be two main types. Internal hybrid events. Internal events are programs that are held to benefit the company's internal stakeholders, including employees, leadership, staff, etc. For many companies, especially large scale ones, it's nearly impossible to gather all your internal stakeholders in the same room for a meeting. This is where hybrid events come into play. You pick a venue for your event, like your company's headquarters, and then live stream the meeting through a platform like Events 10x for the rest of your company to join in attendance. External events, on the other hand, are programs that are targeted towards your customers, prospects, clients, etc. Transitioning your live external event into a hybrid setting can help draw in more attendees and lower your carbon footprint. The digital business cards feature of Events 10x aims exactly at that by allowing attendees to exchange business cards digitally and also to schedule meetings, thereby being eco-friendly. Now, certain key elements of hybrid events need to be looked at. One common misconception we have heard in the industry is that all you need for a hybrid event is a virtual streaming provider. That's not the case. A successful hybrid event requires the same elements and features as an on-site event. Paired with great virtual streaming provider, these elements will make your hybrid event a great success. Events 10x, while being compatible with other external streaming services to suit the client's needs, is the only web-based platform to have its own video engine. We boast to have the WebRTC video engine on which you can host your sessions in the auditorium directly without any third-party reliance. There are many other elements that are key part of hybrid events. For example, engaging content. Content is king, especially when it comes to virtual and hybrid events. Your content is arguably even more important at a hybrid event because not only do your in-person attendees have to be engaged, but your virtual attendees should also be involved throughout the event, making sure that all your speakers are prepared and that their presentations are engaging by maintaining their content and overall agenda. In hybrid events, marketing plays a major role. You could have email campaigns being sent out through Events 10x to remind your attendees to register for the event and attend it as well. Registration, another major aspect. Your event's hybrid registration process should be just as seamless as your on-site event registration. With Events 10x, we have enabled live in-person on-site registration as well as virtual registrations. Now, creating a branded event registration webpage with Events 10x and the entire event itself takes hardly 45 minutes to set up. So you can have your webpage and your landing page with your organization's colors and branding for your next event. Prospective attendees can easily find all the details about your program in the agenda and my program and add to their own personal agenda as well, creating custom paths for your in-person attendees in the virtual and on-site space. Using appointment scheduling or B2B networking can easily be done using our networking feature in the lobby area where you can engage in one-on-one video chats as well as text chats. And also you could schedule meetings in advance with other attendees of the program. While we would like to discuss different strategies, we need to look at key advantages of hosting hybrid events. With hybrid events, you primarily get the advantages of both in-person events and their virtual counterparts. Below are some of the biggest advantages of making your event hybrid. An increased attendance. While an in-person event or conference is often the most engaging, some people do not have the time or the ability to travel long distances to attend those events. Not to mention, sometimes those in-person events can carry a pretty hefty price tag. Both factors can deter individuals from deciding to register for your event. But with a hybrid event, however, those same individuals may be more compelled to attend if they can do so from the comfort of their own couch in a safer environment and a much lower cost. Pivoting to hybrid can attract many more registrations than a solely in-person event. Another point would be enhanced content and engagement. When you host a hybrid event, you will be live streaming your speakers and sessions for virtual attendees to view. This allows you to record these sessions and send them out after the event. Having the sessions on demand, which is one of the features of Events 10x, is a key feature to allow your attendees to be able to view the videos as and when they'd like to. Attendees who couldn't make certain sessions could simply rewatch and learn more now and can engage with the content days or even weeks after the event is over. This will keep your event, your company, in the minds of your attendees long after the event has concluded. A lower carbon footprint or being eco-friendly. By reducing the number of on-site attendees, your event's carbon footprint will also decrease. There will be less travel by the attendees, fewer meals thrown away, and less transportation of rental chairs and tables. Your company will not only be positioned as an event powerhouse, but also as an environmentally conscious organization. One of the key elements to the success is the increased sponsorship value. Now that your event is hybrid, your sponsors have the opportunity to get in front of your in-person and your virtual attendees. That is double the exposure they had before. Hosting part of your event in a digital environment creates new opportunities for brand awareness and lead generation. By offering your sponsors more value, your event will attract more sponsorship in dollars or dirhams as per the region and even more sponsors. This can help to offset the technical costs of running the hybrid event. With the future unknown and this industry, the way it's taking shape, change is the only constant. And we currently need a plan for the unknown. These past few months have been nothing short of unpredictable, but we have all learned from this experience. One of the most important lessons that we have learned is to be prepared. Incorporating virtual and hybrid events into your total event program will be a key piece of your event strategy as we navigate these next few months of the unknown, especially going into Expo 2020, which we're looking forward to. Live in-person events, Expo 2021, sorry, which we're looking forward to. Live in-person events will never go out of style, but it never hurts to have a backup plan, thereby make hybrid events yours, and Events 10X is here to make it happen. Thank you, Mario.
Thank you so much, Mr. Abhay, for this fruitful conversation. Your topic and discussion brings up a serious, let's go back to the title of this event itself. The future is hybrid. Do you genuinely think that virtual and hybrid is here to stay? Do you think it will make enough revenue to make up for the loss of the in-person events that happen after the pandemic? Or do you think it's like a short-term thing, genuinely?
Well, with virtual and hybrid events, there are two different kind of models. Obviously, when you're looking at in-person events and on-site events, revenue generation is on a much different scale as compared to virtual and hybrid. But so are the costs that are involved when you're going with only virtual. It's much more lesser costs involved, but also it gives you equal opportunities to create revenue generation from them. As I said, you have branding, you have sponsorships, you have your exhibition areas. Events 10X has its own exhibition area where we do have unlimited number of exhibitors that you could have. So you could actually sell each of those exhibition booths to your customers and generate revenue. Within our lobby area itself, we have branding opportunities, and we have specially enabled GIF type of branding, which you can have slideshows of branding opportunities. In terms of hybrid, it gives you even more of an opportunity to have on-site branding and revenue generation, as well as online as well. I hope that answers it.
Thank you so much, Mr. Abhay. Is there anything you'd like to add before we move on to the roundtable?
I'm good, thanks. We can move.
Thank you so much. Let's move on now and commence our honorable speakers that will be discussing the topic of how you planned your event in 2020 and what are your strategies for the future. Like I said, this will be commenced by Mr. Abhay as well, Ms. Taisha May, and Mr. Ahmed Al-Sayed. So please, let's start since Abhay just stopped. Ms. Taisha, can you begin, please? How you planned your event in 2020? What do you think are some strategies for a hybrid for the coming future?
very much. Thank you very much, Mariam. You can hear me?
Yes, go
Okay,
ahead,
thank you so
Taisha.
much.
No,
Hello,
please.
Abhay. Hello, Mr. Ahmed. Thank you for having me here in your session. Okay, we can't deny that over the past year, virtual events flourished because businesses had to find solution to conduct events, right? In a safety condition, secure one. So I believe that just like I agree with what Abhay said earlier, that 2021 is hybrid life. So hybrid events, again, as he mentioned, is here to stay. So I'm not saying that the in-person or the live events is not happening anytime soon. However, we're thinking that, I mean, strategy-wise, hybrid is going to be the new normal, right? I mean, it is the future. We're looking at it as the future, but it is currently the new normal. If you see my if I see my Outlook emails on daily basis, I get a lot of emails sending me opportunities to go online, to go hybrid. So this is the current normal. So our strategies would be moving forward to hybrid.
Thank you, Taisha. You said something along the lines that hybrid is here to stay. So I want to ask you, do you think that planners should invest only in like hybrid, or should they take that risk and only invest in in-person business? What do you think people should take the risk for that regarding that hybrid is the future now?
Okay. Planners, as planners organize hybrid events, they would need to be prepared for organizing both live and virtual events. As what Apay said earlier, these are two different platforms. So they should be prepared. It can be a sort of a challenge to handle both live and the virtual audiences. And we have to make sure that they are not alienated, right? Because this is virtual, unlike when they are in the physical events. But the key specifically to these requirements of both audiences is to provide an ample time and the manpower from the pre-event to the event itself, and even in the post event stages. So it can be taken into consideration that the logistics involved in a hybrid event would be more complex, but because again, it needs a physical and digital infrastructure to be in place. But if planners would really ensure that they have the right and sufficient infrastructure to do both platforms, then we will have a seamless experience. So going hybrid um, definitely will have a few technical challenges associated with it, but if we do it and prepare really well, it's just going to be a very good experience for everyone.
Thank you so much, Taisha. Thank you so much. Is there anything you'd like to add, or anything to add to your discussion?
I'm good. I
Thank
want
you
to
so
listen to
much.
the others too. Thank you.
Thank you, Taisha. Okay, Mr. Ahmed, how are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much.
Good.
First of all, thank you for inviting me, and thanks for everyone here. It's really a pleasure being with you today.
It's a pleasure to have you too, Mr. Ahmed. I'll repeat the question again so you can gather your thoughts. Just generally, how planning events in 2020 is going after the whole pandemic, and what do you think could be like great strategies for the future? To help bring hybrid, to the new world, to the new norm that we're dealing with right now. If you could
Frank,
just share your.
yeah, sure. Frankly speaking, 2020 was very impactful. I believe everyone has seen the impact of 2020 on the business. And I believe in 2020, most of the events, yeah, for us, we try to move to the digital front. We try to react fast. We try to conduct knowledge-related programs, content-related programs, keep interacting with the audience, provide always sessions here and there to keep our business alive. At the end of the day, I can say very clearly that nothing will replace a physical event, but as all the colleagues mentioned, digital is here to stay with the current situation. I think that we are focusing more on this now, and that will be the new norm going forward. And one more thing as well, yeah, digital is not very new to introduce. We have introduced some digital features before. Normally, we used to depend on online matchmaking tools to facilitate meetings for our audience, especially in the exhibition. Uh, and that was quite interesting because people can interact in advance, hook up their diaries, pick up their meetings, and go and come to the events with ready-made calendar. I believe if we can try to find a solution mixing the online with the offline with the physical event, that would be a proper strategy for the future. Digital is having a lot of challenges. Number one, it was very interesting in the beginning. After some time, people lost interest. A lot of free content was available. A lot of events were there. So it is not really as attractive to people as it was before. But what I can say is being very strong in the content side, being very straightforward, being very directive, that is helping in putting up a sharp program which will attract people. Uh, from our side, I would say that the only way going ahead is to mix virtual with physical in a hybrid way, and to go side by side because there is many new opportunities which have been opened going virtual. There is no more limitations now. Previously, events used to be limited. We are here in Oman. Oman is a small country. We used to organize local events, mostly regional events, if the topic allows. But as of now, we can do international events. As of now, we can reach to anyone. We don't have such limitations as before. So it is opening a new scope as well, in addition to the current business model. I believe many other business models can be opened and discussed in the future.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ahmed. You brought up very interesting points, and with that, I genuinely need to ask this question because it's creating curiosity for everyone around there. You know, sometimes when something like this is new, people are very reluctant, you know, to try virtual events or hybrid. For example, these are the challenges, you know, to invest money in something that people are not like aware of. So, do you think that the current generation of event professionals now in the industries, do you think they'll be able to adapt to our new landscape of hybrid is the new future?
I believe it is not about organizers investing in the platform. The main challenge is to convince the client to pay for the platform. That is the key point. At the end of the day, clients are not really trusting the digital environment as the physical environment. Most properly, in the physical environment, you get out of visitors dropping by, you have a lot of personal interaction, you have a lot of activities running alongside the event. It's not only an event, it's not only a one-day exhibition or two-day exhibition. It is a proper social environment where you bring in new customers, you take them for dinner, you invite them for gatherings. It is more than just an event. So how to replace it with a virtual platform? That is a question. And the question is how can we convince our colleagues, and from the other side, how to convince our clients to come and invest? Because if you look at the financial sponsorship and participation values, it is dropping in a very strong way. It's not as the physical event. If you used to charge maybe $300, $400 per square meter in a proper exhibition, how much you think you can sell digital booth for? That is the question. So what exactly is the income needed to invest in the digital platform? And can I generate this income as organizer or not? That is the point. And how many clients I can get. We used to organize big exhibitions, having hundreds of exhibitors. If you do this in a digital platform, how can you manage it? How can you direct enough number of visitors to every booth? And here as well, it is quite easy to judge at the end of the day how many clicks per page, how many business cards exchange. It is measurable. It is numbers. And on exhibition floor, it is much easier. But here it is quite difficult to manage. So the question is, how can we make the digital platform suitable for this kind of events, and how to offer the same kind of experience if we can. And if we cannot, yeah, we need to focus on maybe how can we enhance the actual experience. We was involved in a couple of events recently here in Oman, and this event was hybrid. You have a small gathering, maybe around 50 people to 100 people in a conference room, and then you have the full event happening as well on the online front. So you get in your key speakers, you get in your key delegates from the government, and then everyone else is online. So such model will work, but again, how can we really translate this into value proposition for our clients to convince them to pay for it? That is the key thing.
So I'm sure like you've attended some virtual events recently and everything. With your personal like intake, do you feel like attendees were like the people who were attending online, they were engaging well together? Did people like have a good feedback to virtual events from your experience?
From a visitor point of view, I have interacted with a lot of visitors. It depends on the person, how he is familiar, how familiar he is with technology, how familiar he is, and how much time he can offer to the platform. At the end of the day, it is not like I'm coming to the exhibition floor, I will be there full day, I will interact with everyone, and I'm committed. But over here, I'm sitting in my office, I can easily log off and go have a cup of coffee, have a meeting, come back, and so on. So some people have really put proper commitment and spend good time and really made good contacts in the digital platforms. Other people was not able. So it depends from person to person. I believe maybe another element which we need to consider as well is offering training or knowledge session for visitors before coming to it, how to use a platform, how to get the best out of the platform. We have done something like this before in our online matchmaking, because we have done maybe from 2015 onwards, we used to have online matchmaking, and then we trained our exhibitors how to use it, and then we used to have some material for our visitors on how to use it, and then at the end, people was really happy with it because they can use it and they can get good results. So that is the point which maybe if we can focus on it and give it a proper attention, we can have a better result from the digital platforms.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ahmed. You said really great points about the hybrid events. I want to take it back to Apai, since you're at the end of the day, you're the head of the business growth, so you know that it takes about revenues and stuff. The most important question now to ask when in regards of like virtual and hybrid events, the big question is, do you think that this is making like, is there a challenge in regards of revenue? Do you think like as a person who's been planning and organizing events now online, there was an issue with revenues? Did it make up for the in-person events, or do you think that's a challenge now and it's becoming better? If you can just elaborate on that.
In general, if you talk about clients from the client side, and especially event organizers, they have been initially, they were a little apprehensive about spending on virtual events. But as we are moving forward, they are realizing the revenue that is being generated and they are moving on with times. Once they do see the value in the platform and what it has to offer, they do understand the spend that's coming in. It's not more so with the cost that associated with hosting the event, but more so with how much revenue they're going to generate on their side. The costing for our platform, for example, for Events 10X, we have it very straightforward. We have it for a single event license. We have it for an annual event license. Our most sellable part is the annual event license, which is very cost effective and efficient, because with the annual event license, you get to host as many as unlimited number of events throughout a licensed year. So if you are an organization that's planning to host multiple events, be it webinars, trade fairs, conferences, training sessions, all of these can be hosted on the platform throughout that calendar year through an event, through an annual license, and the cost can be split up. That would literally mean if you're doing at least 15 to 20 events, or even if you take 20 events split over the entire year, that could be as less as $500 or $1,000 per event as a cost for your virtual platform. Now, when you're talking about revenue generation from those events, some of them may generate less revenue, some of them may generate a lot more revenue. Every event organizer knows which genre of event or which kind of event would bring in that revenue generating options. If it's an event like the IPS, they know it's going to come in from their sponsors, if it's going to come in from their exhibitors. If it's an conference only event, They know sometimes it's going to come in from your sponsors, speakers, or even the delegates that come in, where they will be paying to attend that event. And that's why for such kind of events, especially where attendees are paying to attend the event, your content becomes key. The ROI from those kind of events is what are the attendees coming, how are they engaging, and what are they learning and taking back. When it's an exhibition, the ROI for the exhibitors, what they're paying to participate is lead generation. What leads are they generating? How many leads are they generating? And the quality of leads that are being generated. With Events 10X, obviously, we do focus on this with our analytics, and we do focus on the stats that are being generated and given out to the exhibitors. So we give them who's attended their booth over the entire event, who's there in person currently on their booth, if they can interact, how many people have clicked on their link. They can extract all of these details from the event itself. Even in the auditorium, for a conference, you can extract the details of how many people have been attending that particular session, who they were, so that as an organizer, I can target my audience based on their interests, based on their engagement, and based on their participation.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
So as Events 10X, we're also, as a company, it's known for big career fairs and university fairs, etc. So the recent one was GEMS, for example. It was one of the biggest events that we've had. I wanted to ask, how will the industry now, in regards of like hybrid and virtual events, how do you think it will attract talent and the younger generation, and to bring that idea about entrepreneurship after such a dramatic year and profits going down? How do you think it will attract the younger generation and universities to be part of online events, and the future is hybrid later on, even after the vaccine and everything?
Sorry, you have to rephrase your question. Just if you could just ask it
Okay.
again.
So we've like as Events 10X, they've done career fairs, with trade fair, university fairs and everything. So how will the industry attract talent and attract these younger generation to be part of these events?
Are you talking about the events industry, the virtual, or are you
Yeah.
talking about which industry?
Yeah, the event industry in regards of hybrid and virtual. How would it attract the younger generation and attract this talent to come be part of these events?
Well, today's generation is very tech savvy, so they are already very self-aware and they know how to, use technology and the benefits of technology. One of the major key facets of today's generation is the ease of access for them. So Events 10X being a web-based platform, you don't really have to download it. You can actually access the platform online itself. So this gives them the opportunity to access the events as well, which are on the platform as a career fair, whether it's a uni fair to visit the different kind of universities that they would prospectively like to join, or even if it's the different companies that they're attending in a career fair. But the virtual events industry is growing and it's here to stay. There are multiple different roles within the events industry that one can actually look into and join. Could be like from marketing, sales, account management, operations, finance as well. It's a completely, it's like the event industry, but just virtual.
Thank you so much, Abhay. Taisha, is there any comments you'd like to add in regards of what Abhay has said? Because I think you relatively had the same types of comments in regards of virtual events. So what do you think so far with your experiences as well with virtual events? What do you think are some of the challenges that can turn into, like strength later on in regards to us going forward to the future is hybrid?
Yeah, I just like to add on the answer from the question that you initially asked, Abhay, because attracting talent is also important, right? Because like what he said, the younger generation, or the new generation, the current generation is tech savvy. They and we, the older generation, is trying to compete, because if we don't, we'd be outdated. And that is the reason why you are stressing that hybrid is the future. It's the current and the future, because today's current would be tomorrow's past. That is so true. So if continuously hold virtual and hybrid events despite this pandemic, I think this will boost the confidence and consequently attract talent and even entrepreneurship. Like for them, these talents can create new type of events, new type of sectors that they can focus on as a hybrid event. Especially now that the business are fully preparing for the post COVID-19 recovery. So the companies are gradually getting back on track. So that's just I just wanted to stress on it because 2020 was really a very unprofitable year. So if we continue for 2021 with our hybrid events, I'm saying this positively because I come from the event. I mean, coming from the event industry, currently there is no chance for us to really go just for a full in-person or live event, but because people won't be comfortable having 10,000 to 15,000 people around them for safety and security, right? Or if we only have a live event and would only accommodate 50 people in a venue, then we cannot also maximize on the footfall. So that is why we do hybrid. There's a live event and a virtual event that would be complementing each other. So if we do that, it will consequently attract talent and more business. So that's just it.
Thank you, Taisha. Actually, your comments brought up a question from the people on the video wall, and they're asking what are some according to your strategies for the future, what are some infrastructures that are required for hybrid events?
Okay, actually, we have tried. We have used the Events 10X platform. Initially, we have tried the virtual. Okay, and this is just going to be for this May. To be specific, on May 26 and 27, we are going hybrid. So we have a function as an in-person or a live event in address Dubai Marina for the International Property Show and Invest in Dubai Real Estate. So it is an exhibition and a think tank program simultaneously happening in person. And it will be streamed hybrid for our international delegation that wishes to join the event, right? So the infrastructure now for a hybrid is making sure that our Events 10X platform is working seamlessly at the same time being able to practically complete the logistics for the in-person or the live venue. So that would all be complementing each other. So this different infrastructures should be well planned and done properly.
Thank you, Taisha, for your comments. Mr. Ahmed, I took down notes on some of the things you said. So I wanted to talk about, you said the fact that the biggest challenge, of course, is getting people to buy the platform or, and basically make events in the platform and getting attendees and stuff. So in general, from your experiences, what are some ways do you think that the business industry can generate revenue from virtual events? Like, what do you think are the different, how can we generate revenue in order to, bring people together for these events and, invest?
My point was not that we are not able to generate revenue from the platform. What I'm saying that people are not willing to pay the same or close to values used to be gained earlier from a physical event. So they are considering as clients that they're not looking at virtual events with the same value because you don't really get the same kind of that is changing. That is not the same. It is changing. People are getting slowly into the concept that we will be in this direction for some time. So they are considering again investing in events. But what I'm saying is mixing the event, having a mix between a physical event and a hybrid event, that will open a lot of new opportunities. My point is we are not limited to 3 days a year, as an example, for an event. You can have an exhibition across a year. You can have it live for a month. You can have it live for a longer period. That is the point. You shouldn't be always limited to a locality. So if you're focusing on an exhibition for a particular country, you can have your exhibition targeting a particular region. You can have days for different countries. So as an example, if you are running an event, it can be Oman Day, it can be UAE Day, it can be another country for another day. So you can enlarge your audience and give a better mileage and visibility to your participants. In addition to that, the fact that everything on the digital platform is recorded, starting from your records, delegates, people coming in, visiting your page, inquiring, and so on. So you can provide as well the exhibitors on a later stage with data and leads, which will help them in translating this into a real business opportunity. That is something which digital and hybrid events can do better than a physical event. In physical event, a client met someone, he got a card, maybe he recorded it or not, and then sometimes it is lost and he's not really able to materialize the leads coming from the event. So that is something which digital events have to offer, which is a better lead generation mechanism. In a digital platform, many new people can come in as well with different formats. You are not limited anymore to a specific format. In exhibitions, we used to be limited to a specific format. We are limited by venues, we are limited by capacities, we are limited by the localities we are in. As of now, if you go online, there is no limitation. You can have an event early morning, you can have it in the evening, you can be flexible, you can push it up and down based on your requirements, you can communicate easily with everyone. There is no such big hassle changing a date. In a physical event, changing the date is a big challenge, but in a digital platform, I think it is not really challenging as in a digital, as in a physical environment. Another element as well is costing, since it is not really the same cost to produce a conference in Oman in a medium scale that would cost you around maybe $100,000+ on a very medium scale. If you do a minimum conference, it will be almost 100,000 plus. If you go this digitally, you will not be able to spend this kind of money. You will to be much less. But what I'm saying is, we need to rethink. We need to change our model. We need to adapt to the new norm, and we need to be more creative, coming up with ideas to attract people to the digital platforms and to think in how we can utilize it going forward and mix it with our current demand.
Thank you, Mr. Ahmed. One of the attendees actually brought up a comment based on what you said. So I will read it out for you and please give your intake and on it. So they wrote, as a nonprofit industry association, we're doing free webinars and seminars virtually. As delegates are also not willing to attend as there are so many free overlapping events taking place. In physical events, we used to charge delegates, not non-members. This is also a challenge now.
That is correct. That is totally correct. What I was saying is, normally the event used to be an opportunity happening only once a year, happening for a very limited time. That is not there anymore. As an example, you know that in the country there is only one event happening targeting this industry, or there is 2-3 conferences happening, one in each quarter. So you are keen to attend, and you travel, you pay money, you register, you take you put the effort to be there. But as of now, you receive an email every day about a new event happening, or a new virtual webinar, or a new. So it's just coming. It is too much. So we need to find a way to stand out. We need to find a real value proposition. At the end of the day, maybe a good content, maybe a certificate, maybe a follow-up session, maybe an exclusive discussion. We need to be more innovative in finding good ways of generating income and convincing clients to pay. As of now, organizing conferences, there are many online conferences, there are many webinars. Companies directly are doing webinars, associations are doing webinars, organizers are doing webinars. universities, schools, even people, individual people are doing webinars. So at the end of the day, it's not as closed environment as before. Before you used to have a lot of regulations to organize a physical event. You need to have a permission, you need to apply, you need to have a hotel booking, and so on. As of now, all these limitations are taken off. So everyone is having access to the floor. We need to think about it, and we need to find out a way of uh, creating a value proposition for delegates to pay rather than just depending on what we used to do before.
Thank you, Mr. Ahmed. I think it's very
Mariam,
important.
sorry, just to jump in on the same question. For non-profit organizations, obviously, since there are many, like as Kamya has asked, there are many multiple events that they are, hosting without attendees actually paying for it right now. But at the same point, as a membership, which they would have initially with the organization, they would have some cost as part of their membership. So even if they aren't really paying for these events, it's probably included in their membership thing as part of that organization. And from a cost perspective, obviously they do have instead of at least not revenue generation, but at least cost, uh, covering up the cost, they can get it in from sponsorships as an option over there, or even actually go ahead and sell some branding space from the auditorium or the lobby area itself.
A small comment on that. One of our clients actually is an association, and they also organize an annual conference every year in one of the GCC countries. It was a moving conference every year. Asking price for sponsorship was quite high, so they used to ask me for around $120,000 to $150,000, and in these kind of averages per company. So once you move digital, how can you convince a client who used to pay this amount of money to pay it on the digital platform? They started to move digital, the event happened digital, but the number was not quite the same. And this association is not depending on the event only to cover up the event cost, but this is the source of income on the association for the full year. So they are paying salaries for people full years, they are covering up their expenses full year, and so on. So clients, we need to find ways to convince clients to pay a decent amount of decent amounts for participation, because it's not only the cost of the platform, it is as well the operation cost of the organization has to be covered. That is it. So this is where we require your support in coming up with innovative solutions and ideas to present it to clients and to try to present something appealing and convincing. Yeah, normally if you do a physical event, you combine a gala dinner, you take around people in round trip, you offer big booth, space, you do a lot of things. So how can you replicate such an experience in a digital platform? That is what we need to elaborate on.
Definitely. I mean, Events 10X does actually look at providing solutions. So we don't just come in as, a service provider, but we actually come in as a consultant who provides a solution to whatever challenges are being faced. And we can actually sit with the clients and work together on something that would benefit them as an organization and execute the event in the best possible way. Thanks, Mariam. Next one.
Thank you, Mr. Abhai and Mr. Ahmed. I think to add more into what you're saying, like, yes, the main question is basically like, how can we let our clients trust in, investing in something like this or making their events? But at the end of the day, with Events 10X, we try our best to have these webpage, we're power packed with all these different features to make it not seem like it's what you're having as an in life event, it's what you have in our platform. And I think the main one is networking. We have this as our main feature, so that it doesn't feel like people are far off from the in life events. Just as you'd exchange business cards, as much as you'd video, like talk to people, it's all in Events 10X. So I think the key is to always convince the client it's not different than what they would have done if they were in live events. And I think that's what Events 10X have succeeded in a lot of their past events and gaining their clients' trust that nothing is foreign here. So I think that is the key for our revenues. And this is interesting because up high, actually, someone has brought up the question asking is how can our platform, virtual platform Events 10X, address this challenge of like revenue generation later on? Is there a way we can address the complication in event planning, you know? And in regards of what I said, like making the clients trust us?
I believe Abai was not able to listen to the question, or something went wrong with the connection.
Sorry, Abhay, are you here? I think it seems. Abhay?
And so what we
Okay.
see is congestion.
Okay, okay. I seem, okay, there we go. Abhay. Okay. Sorry, Abhay, we seem like we lost you there. Can you hear us now?
I sorry, I think I was lost a little bit. Yeah, sorry.
It's okay.
I can, yeah.
Do you want me to rephrase the question again?
Sorry, Mariam, you just to
Yeah, Abhay, sorry, it seems like there was a technical issue. Go ahead, please. Okay. Taisha, would you like to answer the question or should I rephrase it?
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening to the question because it was addressed to Empire. I'm sorry. What was it again?
Of course, no. I'll. So I was saying, like, of course, you have experienced our platform and everything. What would you like, Events 10X to improve in the attendees' experience
Well,
in
actually,
regards of, sorry, yeah.
yes, if I may continue. It's correct. We have used Events 10X as a platform for our previous virtual events for most of our real estate shows. Okay. So the good thing about our experience was, okay, we started with barely not much knowledge about the virtual platform, but we are happy that Events 10X heard us from our first experience. We were happy that Events 10X team was able to address our concerns from all our because the experience was rather not 100% seamless for us because we were all new to this, our team, because we've always been in the live in-person events, just like what Mr. Ahmed said. It's a different thing. It's a different kind of experience. So going virtual for the first time was like we were babies that had to be, we had to be guided. And the good thing about it is that you listen to the shortcomings that we've had, the not so good experiences that we have experienced, and you have tailored to what we wanted. It was not the other way around that, okay, you're fixed. This is the platform and we have to deal with it. The good thing is that you were able to improve, we're able to add a lot of features that we needed because, again, it's not enough to be just there. It's not enough to be there. We have to get our people attending the platform or joining the platform to be able to network. Uh, I mean, when the exchange of the virtual business cards came into life, it added it added joy, it added spark in the networking because this time, they just have to look at the profile and they see the business card and that's it. They get all the information. Then if someone visits your stand, if someone visits your booth, you would know who that particular person is already because initially we would only know the figures, the numbers that come in that, okay, we know that, oh, in our booth we had 72 visitors for today and 12 the following day and all. But eventually, because we wanted to know more, we want to provide more data to our exhibitors, then you were able to address the concerns that we've had. So that is what I just liked about the experience that we've had with your platform because uh, you were open to listening. You were opening to do more changes and upgrade. So that's it, based on the experience that we've had. And we cannot wait for our next event, which is hybrid on May 26th and 27th. That's a free plugging.
Thank you so much, Taisha. It looks like we've covered all of our questions. This is the time usually for Q&A if any of the audience or attendees have anything to ask. If not, I do not see anyone typing any questions so far. But I just wanted to say we appreciate the speakers for you being here. Special thank you for all our attendees who actually have attended today. If you have any questions regarding the platform, please feel free to get in touch. Book a demo with us in our website at event10x.com. I've attached in our resources, which is our main feature, which you'll see in the auditorium as you enter the link again. So please use that to see our credentials, what we do, how we do it. Thanks again for joining us today, and we'll see you in the next time. Thank you, Mr. Ahmed. Thank you, Taisha. Thank you, Abhay.
My pleasure. Thank
It
you
was
so
a
much.
pleasure to have you with us. So I guess this concludes our webinar. Yes, thank you all for attending. We hope you've learned and enjoyed a lot in this presentation. Also, a quick thing for all our attendees, if you want to look back at the webinar and the great conversations that we've had about hybrid is the future, please enter the link on our website that I've emailed to all attendees. It's linked. Log in with your credentials and password. You will find the re-recorded session in our archive, which is also another part of our features. So thank you guys so much and have a great day.
Thanks a lot.